turbulence hit like a freight train, slamming my Boeing 737 across the stormy skies over the Rockies. And in that split second of chaos, our eyes locked. His steady gaze cutting through the panic like a lifeline I didn't know I needed. I was Alex Rivera, 28 years old, gripping the yoke in the cockpit of Flight 472 from Denver to Seattle. My heart pounding not just from the storm but from the way he, the stranger in 2A, hadn't flinched, his calm smile a beacon in the aisle as passengers screamed. That look lingered long after we touched down, a spark that ignited something deep in my chest, whispering that this wasn't just another routine flight. It was the beginning of a collision course I couldn't steer away from. I'd been flying for United Airlines for 5 years now, ever since I traded the dusty airstrips of my Arizona hometown for the endless blue of the commercial routes crisscrossing America. At 28, I was the youngest captain on my crew rotation, a title that came with respect but also isolation, nights in sterile hotel rooms, meals scarfed between layovers, and a life that blurred into one long takeoff and landing. Being gay in this world, it was a quiet truth I carried like extra fuel in the tanks. Out to my closest crew, but otherwise tucked away, especially after the fallout from my last relationship 2 years back. Marcus had been a flight attendant on a rival airline, all charm and chaos until he ghosted me mid-route from Miami to Chicago, leaving me questioning if love could ever stick the landing in a life this transient. But that stranger, God, he was etched into my mind like contrails in a clear sky. Tall, maybe 6 feet 1 inch, with an easy athletic build that spoke of weekend hikes or pickup basketball in some coastal city. His skin was a warm brown, eyes hazel that caught the cabin lights like hidden emeralds, and a jawline sharp enough to cut through the recycled air. He'd boarded quietly in Denver, settling into first class with a leather messenger bag slung over his shoulder, dressed in a simple button-down that hugged his shoulders just right. No wedding ring, no frantic calls on his phone during boarding. Just that journal he pulled out, scribbling notes as if the world below was his canvas. We taxied out late, the storm brewing over the mountains like a bad omen, and as I called for pushback, I glanced back through the cockpit door. There he was, flipping a page, utterly absorbed. The flight attendants, Lena and Mike, my regulars, did their safety demo with extra flair, but my focus splintered. Why him? In a plane full of suits and soccer moms, his presence felt deliberate, like a plot twist in a novel I hadn't picked up yet. The climb out was smooth until we hit 20,000 feet, and then the gods of aviation unleashed hell. Alarms blared, the plane bucked like a wild Mustang, and oxygen masks deployed in a cascade of yellow. Ladies and gentlemen, I broadcast over the intercom, my voice steady from years of muscle memory. This is your captain. We've got some rough air ahead. Please remain seated. But in the galley, I caught a glimpse, him, unbuckling, moving toward a crying kid in economy, his hand gentle on the boy's shoulder, whispering something that brought a shaky smile. My co-pilot, Sarah, shot me a look. Who's the hero back there? Beats me? I muttered, but my pulse raced. By the time we leveled off, the cabin hushed, and I stole another peek. He was back in 2A, journal open again, but now his eyes met mine through the narrow window in the door. Not accusatory, not scared, just knowing, as if he saw the storm in me too. Descent into Seattle was a mercy, rain-slicked runway greeting us like an old friend. I powered down, shook hands with ground crew, and headed to the jet bridge, uniform rumpled, craving coffee. That's when he appeared at the gate lounge, leaning against a pillar, scrolling his phone. Coincidence? Seattle was a hub, sure, but first class on a red-eye? I nodded politely, grabbing my roller bag, but he straightened, voice low and warm like aged bourbon. Captain Rivera, that was some flying. Name's Jordan Hale. Thanks for getting us down safe. His handshake was firm, calluses on his palms suggesting hands that built things, not just typed reports. Up close, he smelled like cedar and rain, fresh off the tarmac. All in a day's work, I replied, forcing casual. You always fly this route? A flicker in his eyes. Amusement? Secret? When I can. Safe travels on your next leg. And he was gone, melting into the crowd toward connecting flights. I stood there, coffee forgotten, wondering why his words felt like a promise. Layover in Seattle dragged. A bland hotel near the airport, room service salmon that tasted like cardboard. I scrolled Grindr out of habit, but swiped left on every profile. Too polished, too predictable. Instead, I replayed the flight, his calm in the storm, that journal. What was he writing? Flight logs? Love letters? By midnight, insomnia won, and I sketched him in my own notebook, a habit from flight school, doodling controls to unwind. His face came easy, too easy. Next morning, Flight 319 to Los Angeles. Routine milk run, sunny skies all the way. I pre-flighted the bird, bantering with maintenance, but as boarding chimed, there he was again. 2A. Same bag, same journal. My stomach flipped harder than the 737 in turbulence. "Morning, Captain," he said, settling in, that smile disarming. "Smooth ride today?" "Forecast says yes," I managed, sealing the door. Sarah raised an eyebrow from the jump seat. "Frequent flyer?" "Apparently." Takeoff was flawless, cruising at 35,000 over the Cascades, Pacific glittering below like shattered diamonds. I monitored gauges, but my mind wandered to him. Who was Jordan Hale? Quick glance back, no, don't. Professional. But during the service, Lena whispered, "Your admirer's asking about you. Says he flies a lot for work." "Work? What kind? Tech bro from Silicon Valley? Artist chasing sunsets?" The descent into LAX was textbook, Hollywood Hills unfolding like a postcard. Deplaning, he lingered at the gate again. "Lunch in LA?" he asked, casual as weather. My treat for the save yesterday. I hesitated, protocols buzzing in my head. Fraternizing with passengers? Dicey. But those eyes. Rain check. Got a turnaround. Fair enough. He vanished into the throng, but not before slipping a card into my palm. Jordan Hale, independent journalist. No firm, just a cell number and email. Heart racing, I pocketed it. That night in a Van Nuys motel, I texted, "Smooth landing?" His reply lit my screen. "Couldn't have done it without you. Dinner next time?" Laughter bubbled up, unexpected. For the first time in months, the skies felt less empty. Flight 556 to Chicago the next day. Storm season teasing early, but clear over the Midwest. And there, 2A. Third time. This wasn't random. As we taxied, I buzzed the galley. "Lena, keep an eye on first class." Her grin was wicked. Stalker or soulmate? Cruising, I left the cockpit more than usual. Autopilot holding steady. He was reading now, some thick tome on American folklore. "Journalist, huh?" I said, pouring coffee under pretense. "What beats you around the country?" "Stories," he replied, eyes lighting. "The ones that don't make headlines. Ghosts of the heartland. Lost loves in big cities." His voice dropped, like pilots who stare at storms. Heat crept up my neck. "Guilty." We talked easy like old routes. He was 30, from a small town in Oregon, chasing freelance gigs after a corporate burnout. Divorced? No, never married. Gay? The air hummed with it, unspoken but electric. Touchdown in O'Hare, wind whipping off Lake Michigan. Gateside, he pressed closer. "Chicago's got great deep dish. Join me?" This time I said yes. We ducked into a corner bistro, away from crew eyes. Over pizza gooey a sin, stories flowed. My coming out at 19, family back in Tucson who loved me fierce. His first crush on a high school track coach, the ache of hiding. Laughter mixed with wine. His knee brushing mine under the table. Accidental? Intentional? By dessert, it was clear. This man was weaving into my flight path, deliberate as a heading. But as we parted, him to a red-eye east, me to crash, I felt the first twinge of unease. Why me? Why these exact flights? His card burned in my pocket, a map to unknown skies. Dawn broke over O'Hare like a reluctant apology. Gray skies mirroring the knot in my gut as I boarded Flight 214 to New York. 4 flights now, and Jordan Hale had become the variable I couldn't calculate, equal parts thrill and tremor. Last night's dinner replayed in loops. His laugh echoing off brick walls, the way his fingers grazed mine over shared calamari, igniting sparks brighter than approach lights. But beneath the romance, a whisper nagged. How did a freelance journalist sync his schedule to mine so perfectly? I shook it off, chalking it up to fate's quirky routing. As I settled into the left seat, Sarah yawning beside me. Boarding chatter filled the cabin, a mix of bleary commuters and LaGuardia-bound execs. Then, the manifest pinged on my tablet, 2AJ. Hale. Again. My co-pilot caught my flinch. Your shadow returns. You to an item yet? Not that simple, I muttered, but my pulse betrayed me. He boarded last, flashing that grin, journal tucked under arm like a talisman. Captain, hope the pizza didn't weigh you down. Only in the best way. We lifted off into low clouds, climbing east over the endless cornfields of Illinois, the world below a patchwork quilt stitched by giants. Cruising, I delegated to Sarah and wandered back, autopilot my ally. He looked up, hazel eyes warm. Ever missed the ground? Every layover, I admitted, leaning on the bulkhead. But up here, it's freedom. No baggage, literal or otherwise. He chuckled, low and rich. Baggage is my specialty. Stories full of it. We dove into his world. Profiles on forgotten LGBTQ+ activists in the Rust Belt, podcasts on queer history erased from textbooks. His passion lit him up, words tumbling like contrails. There's power in the untold, like two pilots crossing paths mid-air, or passengers stalking captains. It slipped out teasing, but his smile faltered, just a beat, before recovering. Stalking implies intent. Call it serendipity. Descent into JFK was a ballet of vectors, Manhattan's skyline piercing the haze like a promise. As we taxied, he texted from his seat. Drinks in the city? No pressure. Heart hammering, I replied, your plane. We met at a dive in Brooklyn, away from airport glare, neon signs buzzing over sticky floors, the air thick with fry oil and possibility. Beers turned to shots, stories to confessions. He spoke of his ex, a photographer who chased light across continents, leaving Jordan grounded and shattered in Portland. I built walls after that, high ones. His hand found mine across the scarred table, thumb tracing circles. But you're cracking them, Alex. The kiss happened in the alley behind. Rain slicked cobblestones underfoot, his lips tasting of whiskey and want. Urgent, tender, years of solo flights dissolving in that press. We broke apart gasping, foreheads touching. This is crazy, I whispered. The best kind. Back at my midtown crash pad. A sublet for long hauls. Clothes shed like excess weight, bodies tangling in sheets that smelled of hotel starch. He was all lean muscle and gentle exploration, mapping me like uncharted airspace. The scar on my hip from a boyhood by crash, the tattoo of a compass rose on my ribs, inked after Marcus. Dawn found us entwined, his breath steady against my neck. Stay, I murmured, but duty called. Flight 112 to Dallas at noon. He dressed quietly, journal in hand. See you in the skies? A kiss goodbye, and he was gone, leaving the room echoing with his scent. At the airport, unease crept back. How did he know my rotations? United schedules were publicish, but this precision? I brushed it off as paranoia, fueled by vulnerability. Love didn't come with checklists. Dallas heat hit like a blast furnace. Flight 112 a quick hop south. And there 2A, fifth sighting. Sarah outright laughed. Marry him already. Cruising over Texas plains, I confronted him in the galley, voice low. Jordan, level with me. These flights, it's not coincidence, is it? He set down his coffee, eyes serious. No, I planned them. My stomach dropped, a free fall without parachute. Why? Remember that story I do? Untold histories. He pulled out his journal, flipping to a yellowed photo taped inside. Two young men, early 20s, arms around each other at an airshow. One with my eyes, the other a spitting image of him, younger, softer. This is my uncle, Theo Hale. And that's you, Alex. Or wait, no. That's Elias Rivera. Your dad. The world tilted harder than any crosswind. Elias, my father. The barnstormer pilot who'd vanished when I was 6, chasing dreams from Tucson airstrips to county fairs across the West. Dead, we'd thought, after a crash report faded into myth. But here, proof. A faded snapshot from 1995, Theo and Elias. Lovers in a world that wouldn't let them land. Theo raised me after his family disowned him, Jordan said, voice thick. He never stopped searching for Elias. Died last year without answers. I found your name in old logs, Rivera. Same routes. Had to see if it was you. Tears stung, the cabin blurring. Dad gay, like me? Hidden to protect us? He left us notes. I choked. Said he was flying to find home. Jordan's hand covered mine. Theo said the same. They were soulmates, Alex. Stolen by time. We landed in DFW shaken, the revelation a mid-air collision. A baggage claim, he hugged me fierce. This isn't over. Your story, our story. It's the one I need to tell. But as he walked away, phone to ear, I glimpsed him glance back. Not with love, but calculation? No, couldn't be. That night, alone in a Fort Worth hotel, I dug out Dad's old flight bag from storage, letters, photos I'd ignored for years. One slipped free. To my boy, love flies straight, even in storms. Find your Theo. Sobs racked me, grief and wonder twisting. Jordan wasn't stalking. He was bridging ghosts. Next flight, 407 to Atlanta, last of the string. I boarded heavy-hearted, scanning seats. Empty 2A. Relief? Disappointment? Cruising south over bayous, Sarah noticed my quiet. Lover boy bail? Worse. Family. I spilled it all, her nods sympathetic. But midway a ping, Jordan texting. Change of route. Meet me in ATL? Truth awaits. Heart soaring, I replied yes. Hartsfield-Jackson swarm engulfed us, but he waited at arrivals, bags slung low. Come on, he said, leading to a rental car. We drove out to Stone Mountain, twilight painting the granite dome in purples. At the summit trailhead, he spread a blanket, Picnic from some soul food spot, fried chicken and collard steaming. Theo and Elias came here once, he said, uncorking wine. Hid from the world, planned a life. Stars wheeled overhead as we ate, talked. About Dad's laugh like thunder, Theo's sketches of impossible flights. Laughter returned, tentative, then full. His hand in mine felt like inheritance. Under the moon we made love slow, reverent, honoring the past, claiming the now. I love you, he whispered after, words a soft landing. But dawn brought shadows. His phone buzzed incessantly. Calls from an editor? As we drove back, he tensed. One more thing, Alex. Theo left a box, Elias's things, in storage up north. Suspicion flickered. Why now? But love dulled edges. Lead the way. Little did I know, the skies ahead held more than romance. Betrayal's wingman lurked, ready to stall us mid-climb. The rental car's tires hummed north on I-85, Atlanta's sprawl giving way to pine-thick Georgia backroads. But the warmth from Stone Mountain lingered like contrails in my veins. Jordan's confessions, the press of his body under stars, a tether to ghosts I'd long buried. At 28, I'd flown through heartbreaks like Marcus's vanishing act. But this, it was altitude and depth, love laced with legacy. Yet as his phone lit up again, third call from editor confidential, a downdraft of doubt stirred. Who was chasing him now? I squeezed his thigh, playful deflection. Popular guy. Scoop on Bigfoot. He flashed that grin, but it didn't reach his eyes. Just deadlines. Theo's story, your dad's. It's bigger than I thought. Publishers circling. We veered onto a county road. Destination a dusty self-storage off 285, where he'd stashed the box from his uncle's attic. Theo hoarded everything Elias. Letters, maps, even a logbook. The facility squatted like a forgotten hangar, corrugated metal rattling in the breeze. Inside Unit 47, fluorescent buzzed harsh over cardboard tombs. Jordan knelt, prying open a weathered crate. Smell of aged paper and jet fuel ghosts wafting out. Inside, Elias Rivera's life, bundled tight. A leather logbook first, entries in Dad's scrawl. June 95 Fluestone MTN with tea sky clear, hearts fuller. My throat closed, fingers tracing ink faded but fierce. Then letters, dozens, tied with twine. One slipped free. My Theo, the world's too small for us. Arizona calls me home, but you are my horizon. Wait for me. Tears blurred, hot and unbidden. Jordan wrapped arms around me from behind, chin on my shoulder. He loved like he flew, all in. We pored over relics. Faded Polaroids of young Elias in a crop duster, grinning beside a lanky Theo at a Reno airshow. A silver pilot's wings engraved E and T forever. Even a mixtape cassette labeled Wings for the Road. Hours melted, unit a time capsule. But buried deep, a manila envelope. Sealed, postmarked 2002, years after Dad vanished. Jordan's brow furrowed. This one's post Theo. He never opened it. My hands shook opening it. Inside, a single sheet, typed crisp. Elias Rivera, debts owed. Crash wasn't accident. Pay up or your boy joins you. No signature, just a scrawled symbol, a coiled snake. Ice flooded my veins. What the hell? Jordan paled, snatching it. This. Theo mentioned threats. Back in the 90s, Elias flew sketchy gigs. Smuggling? For some syndicate out of Vegas. Theo begged him to quit. Pieces slammed. Dad's sudden exit. The crash report that never corroborated. Not fate, a hit. Why hide it? I demanded, voice cracking. He was protecting you. Us. Jordan's eyes darted. Guilt? I found this digging for the story. Thought it was closed chapter. Story. That word soured now, turning romance rancid. So this whole thing, flights, us, was research? Get close to the sun for the scoop. No. Alex, I swear. He reached, but I jerked back, crate between us like fallout. 5 flights, Jordan. Synced perfect. And now this. Rage boiled, hot as re-entry. I stormed out, envelope clutched, leaving him in the fluorescence glare. The drive back was silent fury. Atlanta lights mocking as I dropped him at his hotel. Don't call. I spat, tires screeching away. Back at crew quarters. A sterile Marriott off the perimeter. Sleep evaded, ghosts louder than engines. I scanned the letter online, cross-referencing Dad's name with old news clips. Whispers emerged. 97 Cessna down in Nevada Badlands. Pilot Elias Rivera. Suspected ties to border runs. Syndicate? A ghost outfit called Viper Crew. 80s relics peddling everything from cash to contraband across state lines. Dad, entangled? To fund what, Theo's dreams? My childhood braces? Dawn flight to Phoenix, home turf, irony bitter. Empty 2A mocked me. Cruising over the Chihuahuan, Sarah prodded gently. Trouble in paradise? Family business. I evaded but doubt piloted now. Jordan's texts piled. Please talk. Is not what you think. Blocked. Yet by Phoenix touchdown, heat waves shimmering, I cracked. Unblocked. One message. Meet at Papago Park. 8 p.m. Truth, no games. Sunset painted the buttes red as blood. Me pacing trails where I'd hiked as a kid. Dad's voice echoing in memory. Skies honest. Alex. Lies don't fly. Jordan arrived breathless. No journal. Just raw plea in his stance. I tailed your flights because Theo's dying wish was closure. But you? From the first iLock in Denver, it was real. The letter. Anonymous tip to Theo post-crash. He buried it to shield Elias's name, and yours. He pulled a USB from his pocket. My research. Viper crew's defunct, but a lead, old enforcer, lives in Tucson. We could end this. The word pulled, treacherous. I wanted to hate him, but his vulnerability, mirroring mine, cracked defenses. Why me, Jordan? Beyond blood ties. Because you're Elias's echo. Brave, beautiful. His hand cupped my jaw, thumb brushing lip. And I fell, hard. Kiss reignited. Fierce against a saguaro's shadow. Forgiveness in friction. We tumbled to his rented SUV. Windows fogging under desert stars. Bodies reclaiming trust. After. Tangled in back seat. He whispered plans. Drive to Tucson tomorrow. Confront the enforcer. Together. Morning found us southbound on I-10. Windows down. Sonoran wind whipping secrets away. Tucson sprawled familiar. Adobe homes. Saguaros like sentinels. The address led to a rundown trailer park on the outskirts. Dust devils dancing. Knocking on 12. A grizzled man answered. 60s. Tattoos faded like regrets. Snake ink on his neck. Who? He growled, but recognition dawned on my face. Rivera's kid. Shit. We pushed in, Jordan's voice steel. Viper. My uncle Theo Hale, Elias's partner. The crash. Talk. Old man Rico. Slumped at a Formica table, cracking a beer. Story spilled reluctant. 96, Elias flew a load. Cash from Cali cartels to Vegas bosses. Greed soured. Viper boss iced him mid-air, staged as mechanical. Kid was clean after that. Warned off. Rico eyed me. Your pop loved wrong, a man. Viper didn't cotton. But he flew true. Grief crashed anew, but closure too. Dad's wings clipped by hate, not fate. Outside, Jordan held me as sobs shook. He died for love, like Theo lived for it. Back in Tucson at my mom's old bungalow, now mine on off months, we mourned proper. Mom's tamales, stories swapped on the porch swing. She met Jordan wary, but his respect for Dad thawed her. Elias always said skies hold souls, she said, patting his hand. Welcome to the family. Nights blurred romantic. Lazy mornings in my bed. Hikes up a mountain where Dad taught me rolls. Jordan's story took shape. A book pitch, Wings of Shadow, our lives woven in. But midweek his editor called again, urgent, veiled. Wrap it, he said, hanging quick. I let it slide, lost in him. Until Flight 689 to San Francisco, turnaround from PHX. I boarded solo but mid-climb. A ping. Passenger manifest update. 2AJ. Hail. 6th time. Grin split my face. But cruising over the Sierras, unease returned. His bag held that USB. Now with Rico's recorded confession. Leverage. Or love. SFO fog swallowed us. But at the gate, Jordan waited, not smiling. Alex, we need to talk. The story is pulling me east. Deadline. Pulling. Like a riptide. Come with? My next leg's Boston. Can't. Loose ends. His kiss goodbye tasted final. Text that night. Sparse, distracted. Miss you already. Then silence. 2 days later, in a Boston hotel, news alert shattered. Freelance journalist Jordan Hale missing. Linked to cold case expose. Heart seized. Viper remnants? Or worse, his ambitions backlash? I booked the first flight west. Skies no longer sanctuary, but salvation's desperate dive. Boston's autumn chill clawed through my uniform as I sprinted O'Hare's concourses, connecting westbound on sheer adrenaline. The news ticker on every screen a taunt. Jordan Hale, 30, vanished after tip on 1990s aviation scandal. My mind reeled. Rico's confession on that USB, Viper's snake coiling back from the grave. Had I dragged him into Dad's shadows? Or was this his doing, chasing the byline too far? At 28, I'd mastered emergencies aloft, but on ground, panic ruled, no yoke to steady me. Phoenix touched down at midnight, Mom's truck idling curbside, her face etched worry. He called yesterday, sounded off, said something about old debts. We raced to my place, phone glued to ear, Jordan's last voicemail looping. Alex, if you hear this, trust the skies. Love you. Garbled. Wind whipped. Like from a tarmac. Cops. Useless. Adult voluntary. They drawled. I paced. Unearthing Dad's logbook. Clues in margins. Coded routes. Viper drop. NV36N. Nevada Badlands. Crash site. Dawn broke brittle. I rented a Cessna 172 from a buddy at the local strip. Jordan's fate my heading. Mom pressed a thermos. Coffee laced with her prayers. Fly safe, Mijo. Bring him home. Updraft lifted me easy over Tucson sprawl. Heart hammering as I plotted chords from the book. Desolate strip near Searchlight, Nevada, where Elias went down. 1 hour out, radio crackled static, abandoned frequency. But a blip on GPS. Vehicle, pinging faint in the void. Touching down on cracked caliche, dust plume announcing me. I taxied to a rusted hangar squatting like a relic. Inside, shadows danced, tires, crates stamped Viper freight. Then voices, low menace. Hale's got the tape. Boss wants it gone. My blood iced. I killed the engine silent, slipping out maglite in hand. Peering through slats, Jordan, bound to a chair, lips split, but eyes fierce. Hazel fire unbowed. 2 goons circled. Grizzled as Rico, snake tats gleaming. Where's the USB, pretty boy? One snarled, fist raised. Jordan spat blood. Burn in hell. Rage propelled me. Door crashed, light swinging wild. Let him go. Chaos erupted. Goon 1 lunged. I sidestepped. Mag cracking his knee with a wet snap. Second swung a pipe. I ducked, countering with a haymaker from flight school brawls. Jordan strained ropes, toppling chair to trip the third shadow emerging. Rico? No, younger, eyes cold. Rivera's whelp. Figures. Fists flew, hangar echoing grunts and thuds me. Fueled by love and legacy. Holding ground till sirens wailed distant. Cops swarmed. Tipped by my frantic PHX dispatch. Cuffing the trio as Jordan staggered free, collapsing into me. You flew in, he gasped, laugh ragged. My knight in Cessna armor. Ambulance ride blurred. Stitches for his brow, my knuckles bruised purple. Detectives grilled, Viper remnants, laundering crypto now, spooked by Jordan's digging. The USB? He'd mailed it to his editor pre-snatch, safe. Rico's kin, the young one, flipped quick. Boss thought Hale was bluffing. Crash was payback. Elias skimmed a load. Closure crashed like a go-around. Dad murdered for pennies. Love the true crime. In the ER bay, Jordan gripped my hand. I should have told you sooner. Editor pushed big payout. But you're the story I can't quit. Fool, I whispered, kissing his temple. We're the story. Feds wrapped it tight. Viper's head pinched in Vegas, charges stacking like thunderheads. News cycle devoured. LGBTQ plus journalists probe uncovers aviation murder. Heroes, they called us. But scars lingered. Jordan's flinch at shadows. My nightmares of empty seats. Recovery in Tucson. Mom's Adobe haven. Days lazy under Ramadas. Nights healing in each other's arms. He penned the book from bed. Me editing margins. Our voices entwining. Wings of shadow poured out. Elias and Theo's stolen romance. Viper's venom. Our collision redeeming it all. Publishers bid fierce. We signed, proceeds split to queer youth aviators. Flying lessons for kids like young Elias. Wings without weights. But peace fractured subtle. Jordan's eyes distant over coffee. Phone whispers to sources. Just follow-ups, he'd say, but doubt downdraft. One night, post-reading at a local LGBTQ plus center. Cheers for our tale. I found him on the porch, journal open to a new page. Alex, debt's deeper. Viper's not done. Protect him, or run. Confrontation brewed slow. What's this? I demanded, voice storm. He deflated. A lead Viper's accountant, hiding assets. Could bury them for good. One last flight. Last? You promised ground. Hurt lashed. I'm not Dad's ghost, Jordan. Or yours. I know. Tears tracked his cheeks. But closure for us. We argued till stars wheeled. Words weapons. Trust eroded like tarmac. Dawn he packed. I'll go alone. Safer. No. I blocked the door. Together or not at all. Standoff broke with embrace. Fierce. Forgiving. We flew commercial to Miami. His source a nervous CPA in a Keys bungalow. Handover smooth. Ledgers, wire transfers. Viper's empire crumbled on our watch. Feds thanked us profusely. Headlines crowed victory. Back west, on a Santa Monica pier, Pacific crashing symphony, we walked, hands linked. No more shadows, Jordan vowed. Ring box emerging, Simple silver. Engraved ENT redux. Marry me, Alex. Let's write our ending. Tears blurred waves. Yes. Cheers from buskers, salt-kissed kiss sealing it. But life aloft called, my routes resuming, his book tour launching. Distance tested. Texts across time zones. Video calls in cockpits. One layover in Denver, storm hub. He surprised at my hotel, snow dusting his curls. Missed my pilot. Nights reignited passion, but whispers persisted. His editor, now agent, pushing sequels. Our story sells, he'd say. I nodded, but unease hummed. Fame's turbulence. Months blurred. Wedding small, Tucson sunset. Mom beaming, Theo's wings on our rings. Wings of shadow top charts, film rights buzzing. But in quiet, Jordan withdrew. Pages unwritten, eyes haunted. Viper echo, he confessed one eve, curled on our couch. New place in Seattle, compromise city. Dreams of snakes. Therapy beckoned. Joint sessions, unraveling knots. His abandonment fears from the ex, my legacy load. Progress slow, but love anchored. Then the call, Hollywood Scout biopic pitch. You two on screen. Authentic. Excitement sparked, but caution too. Our truth, not spectacle. We insisted. Script drafts flew. We consulted, ensuring Elias and Theo's love shone raw. Viper's hate unvarnished. Premiere loomed, LA Gala, red carpet nerves. But en route, Flight 999 LAX, irony's full circle, turbulence hit vicious over the plains. Cabin bucked. I gripped yoke, broadcasting calm. Glimpse back. Jordan in 2A, our seats, his hand steady on a passenger's, eyes locking mine. Trust absolute. We landed flawless, gala whirl. Flashes, toasts, our kiss trending. Afterglow faded. Life normalized. My captaincy solid, his second book brewing, this one fiction. Queer pilots chasing stars. Yet in bed, whispers of future. Adoption? Family, grounded yet soaring. One dawn, over coffee he knelt again, not ring but ultrasound printout. Surprised layover. Surrogate, our choice, tiny blip, our horizon. Joy exploded, tears mingling. But Viper's ghost? Faded, not gone, trial dates loomed, testimonies required. Court in Vegas. Sterile halls, Viper boss sneering from dock. Our words, Jordan's probe, my legacy. Sealed fate. Life, no parole. Outside, under neon, we exhaled. Free, he breathed. Freedom's weight settled gentle. Back home, nursery painted blue skies, names debated. Elias Theo Rivera Hale. Love, we'd learned, wasn't straight line flight. Detours, storms, but always true north. Yet as I prepped for a cross-country haul, Jordan's journal caught eye. Final entry, to our son. Wings wait, but homes and hearts. Closure complete, skies beckoned anew. Not haunted, but hallowed. The nursery's soft glow filtered through star-stenciled walls as I rocked the glider. Little Elias Theo, E.T. for short, gurgling in my arms, his tiny fists waving like semaphore flags against the dawn creeping over Seattle's sound. At 29 now, fatherhood had grounded me in ways no cockpit could. Diapers over departure briefings, lullabies replacing intercom patter. Jordan stirred in the rocker beside, hazel eyes heavy-lidded but alight with that quiet wonder we'd earned through wreckage. He flies in dreams already, he murmured, tracing E.T.'s downy hair. Viper's trial had chained its last ghost months back, but scars etched deep. Nights when Jordan bolted awake, snakes coiling in sweat-soaked sheets, or my own flinches at sudden static on the scanner. Book tour wrapped triumphant. Wings of Shadow, a beacon for queer stories nationwide. Panels in San Francisco's Castro. Readings in Chicago's Boys Town, where kids approached shy. Your dads make me brave. The biopic, echoes aloft, premiered to acclaim. Us consultants ensuring authenticity. No gloss tragedy, just raw love defying odds. Royalties funded scholarships. Elias Hale aviation grants, lifting LGBTQ plus youth into skies dad dreamed. Life stabilized, a steady cruise at 30,000 until the downdraft hit. It started innocuous. A letter in our P.O. box, postmarked Vegas, no return. Cream envelope, typed crisp. Rivera Hale, loose ends untied. Son's next. Snake doodle in margin. Heart seized. I crumpled it, but Jordan's face drained ash. They got life. How? Feds dismissed. Crank, they said, Viper sympathizer. But sleep fractured. I cut routes short, trading transkins for regional hops. Home by E.T.'s bedtime. Jordan quit freelancing cold. No more digging. Taking adjunct gigs at UW. Lecturing on narrative ethics. Evenings, we walked Green Lake, ET and carrier, hands clasped tight. We're safe, I'd affirm, but doubt whispered. Then, the calls. Blocked numbers, hang-ups laced with static. One night, post-bedtime, ET down. Jordan's laptop pinged, email from ghost account. Theo's sketches? Worth more than you know. Attached. Scan of Dad's old drawing, Elias and Theo midair, wings fused. Stolen from our home? Panic surged. We swept the house. Drawers rifled, nursery toys askew. When? Jordan choked. Cops dusted. Prints none. But security cam across street caught a shadow. Hooded, lingering. Profile familiar? Rico's young kin, the flipper out on bail, grudge festering. He testified against family, detective grunted. Vengeful type. We fortified. Alarms, cameras, my Beretta from Arizona days locked loaded. But fear fermented. Jordan's smile strained. My flights aborted mid-plan. T sensed it. Fussing more, his coups edged cries. One storm-lashed eve, power flickering, Jordan cracked. I can't. This life, it's poisoning us. Tears streamed. Sell the book rights full. Move east. Boston, away from skies. Run. The word stung, echoing Dad's stand. No. We fight. Embrace turned desperate. Bodies seeking solace in frenzy. Love's fierce anchor. But dawn brought resolve. Hire PI, ex-Viper tracker named Lena. Irony. Same name as my old FA. I'll dig, she promised, eyes steel. Weeks dragged taut. PI reports trickled. Bail jumper hold in Reno, small-time scams. We exhaled tentative, ET's first laugh a bomb. Gummy grin at Jordan's goofy faces. Flights resumed gingerly. Short hops to Portland. Jordan tagging as family. In the air, normalcy returned. His hand on mine during cruise, Seattle lights twinkling below like fallen stars. But PI's call shattered. Kids not solo. Backed by Viper widow, boss's ex. Nursing hate. She's got the sketches. Forged provenance. Selling as lost queer art on black market. Value? 6 figures, blood money from Dad's era. Meet me, Rivera. We end this. Reno glittered false under moon. Casino sprawl hiding sins. Jordan and I drove up in a nondescript sedan. ET with Mom south. Tension crackled. His knee bounced. My grip white on wheel. If it goes south. It won't. Kiss at the safe house door. PI Lena briefing. Widow in a Tahoe cabin. Goon kin as muscle. Plan. Bluff in. Snag evidence. Cops waiting perimeter. Heart pounding, we rolled up gravel drive. Widow answering. 50s. Sharp as switchblades. Lips curled. Hail. Rivera. Come for tea. Inside. Pine panel trap. Sketches pinned like trophies. Kin lurking shadows. Your men's love? She sneered, waving Dad's drawing. Fodder for fools. Pays better than truth. Jordan's voice steady. Return them. Viper's done. Bluff cracked when Kin lunged. Fists not guns. Chaos erupting. I tackled him. Elbows flying. Jordan dodging Widow's grab for a poker from hearth. Shouts, grunts, then sirens wail, doors bursting. Feds swarmed. Widow cuffed, spitting venom. Your kind ruined him. Sketches reclaimed. Charges stacked. Extortion. Forgery. Back in Seattle, dawn broke clean, ET's babble welcoming. Relics restored to walls. Therapy deepened. Group for survivor kin, voices weaving our isolation loose. Jordan's new book birthed. Fiction. Skybound hearts. Tales of queer aviators unbound. I penned forward. Words from soul. Love defies gravity, even in freefall. Life updraft. ET's first steps on tarmac during my sim day. Jordan capturing on film. Wedding anniversary, year 2, we flew private to Stone Mountain, picnic redux, rings renewed under that dome. To detours, he toasted, wine glinting. But growth's edge cut. My promotion loomed, senior captain, international legs. Europe, Jordan mused. Excitement laced nerves. ET passports at dawn. First haul, Heathrow, family trio. Turbulence toyed over Atlantic. ET wide-eyed in lap. Jordan's hand steadying. London bloomed wonder, Big Ben chimes. Thames walks, ET giggling at pigeons. Book launch there. Skybound signing. Fans queuing tales of their flights. One night, pub hopping Soho's gay bars. Jordan pulled me close amid drag queens and disco. This us world, worth every storm. Return stateside smooth, but layover in Chicago brought echo. Old crew spot, Lena the FA spotting us. Captain Dad, and the Mister. Beers flowed, stories of Marcus faded. Life's reroute. Home, ET napping, Jordan's eyes sparkled scheme. Adopt a sibling? Or foster? More wings. Talk turned deep. Legacy not just blood, but chosen family. We dove in agencies, home studies, heart swelling at possibilities. Yet Viper's widow's trial loomed, our testimony's key. Vegas heat pressed as we flew in, courtroom a pressure cooker. Her glare burned from stand. They profited off death, but evidence mounted, sketches authenticated, ledgers damning. Verdict, guilty, 20 plus. Outside, exhale collective, justices landing gear down. Post-trial high, road trip southwest, ET strapped in, hitting Dad's old airstrips. At Searchlight, we scattered Theo's ashes, Jordan's final gift. Winds carrying to where Elias waited. Full circle, he whispered, arm around me, sun between. Seasons turned, ET2, words tumbling. Daddy fly, Papa right. Jordan's adjunct turned tenure track, my routes global, Tokyo layovers, Paris whispers. Distance stretched but tech bridged. Cockpit cams for bedtime reads. One crisis, Jordan's fever spike. ET down with it, flu, brutal. I diverted mid-Pacific, emergency landing Vancouver, racing south. Hospital vigil bonded us fiercer. Recovery slow, but gratitude's fuel full. Anniversary 3, Hawaiian getaway, Maui beaches cradling us. ET building sandcastles, us snorkeling reefs, colors vivid as love renewed. There, under lava flows, Jordan proposed expansion. Foster first? Test waters. Agency matched us quick. A teen, Jamie, 16, trans boy from foster churn, aviation mad. Home visit sparked. ET sharing toys, Jamie's eyes on my wings. Fly someday? Count on it. Paperwork flew. Jamie joined tentative. Bunk in nursery turned room. Chaos bloomed beautiful. Teen angst, toddler tyranny, our steady orbit. Jordan's book 2 launched. Hearts aloft. Jamie inspiring a chapter. Sales soared, but we grounded fame, prioritizing plates over premieres. Yet shadows lingered subtle. Jamie's old scars, nightmares echoing ours. Family therapy wove us tight. Stories shared, bonds forged. One night, fire pit crackling. Jamie asked, "Your dad's? How'd you beat the monsters?" Jordan glanced me, smile soft. "Love's the wind beneath. Lifts you over." ET yawned. Jamie nodded. Family, not flawless, but flight-worthy. As stars pricked, I held them close, knowing. Coincidences? None. Every boarding, every storm, faded to this horizon. Maui's trade winds whispered promises as we boarded the prop back to Oahu. ET conked out on Jordan's lap. Jamie wide-eyed at the turquoise expanse unrolling below. His first flight beyond mainland hops, a milestone we'd planned post-Foster finalization. At 30, Jordan had traded solo chases for this chorus of care. His adjunct lectures now laced with family anecdotes. Students dubbing him Professor Papa. Me, captaincy's international scope pulled me to Tokyo's neon veins or Rome's ancient arcs. But homecomings, bursting through Seattle doors to ET squeals and Jamie's eye rolls, were landing sweeter than any runway kiss. Jamie's integration hummed with hitches. 16 going on eternal skeptic, his trans journey a map of missteps. Dead naming echoes from old homes, binders hidden under hoodies. We'd caught him early, binders swapped for safe ones, names affirmed daily. Jamie Hale Rivera, he'd test, grin cracking tough shell. Nights, he'd crash my sim sessions at Boeing Field. Yoke in hands. Feel that? Power. Pride swelled. Dad's echo, wings for the wounded. But harmony hit headwinds. Jordan's tenure review loomed. Manuscripts piling like unpaid tabs. Hearts aloft sequels demanded drafts. Agent nagging. Franchise it. Queer skies sell. He buckled quiet. Circles under eyes deepening. One eve, post Jamie's guitar strums, ET banging pots in rhythm. I found him in study, head in hands. Drowning, Alex. Book stalled. Classes choke. Delegate. I knelt, thumbs tracing his temples. You're not solo anymore. That night we schemed. Co-author next? My logs as lore, his prose polishing. Spark reignited. Late scribbles, coffee-fueled. Laughter leaking under doors. Jamie peaked. Gross, dads, but cool. Family therapy evolved. Group now, other queer parents swapping war stories. Adoptions botched, schools stumbling. Jamie opened there, voice steady. Y'all saved me from bounce. Bonds beyond blood. A fleet unbreakable. Then, the gale, my physical routine 6-month, flagged anomaly. Cardiologist in Seattle-Tacoma Clinic, voice clinical. Irregular rhythm. Could be arrhythmia, stress? Or hereditary. Hereditary? Dad's crash logs flickered, heart flutter, ignored. Panic's propeller spun. Tests stacked, EKGs, stress runs on treadmills mimicking climbs. Jordan white-knuckled weights, ET drawing daddy strong cards. Jamie researching meds till dawn. Diagnosis landed soft. WPW syndrome, manageable ablation procedure, zap the rogue circuit. But skies? Grounded 6 weeks minimum. Desk duty. Doc shrugged. Rage boiled, my identity, aloft. Jordan held vigil pre-op. You're my constant altitude. We'll hover. Surgery seamless, scar faint under ribs, but recovery chafed. Cabin fever in our craftsman. Pacing while Jordan juggled solo. School runs, lectures, ET's potty parades. Reprieve came Jamie's way. School play, Wings of Change, Queer Aviator's Tale, his script nod to us. Lead role, trans pilot, Jamie nailing auditions. Rehearsals lit him, confidence cruising. Opening night, house packed. Us front row, ET clapping wild. Jamie soared. Monologue gut punch. Skies don't judge circuits. They just fly. Standing ovation. Backstage, tears and hugs. You gave me stage, he choked. Post-show high carried. Ablation cleared. I simmed cautious. Then solo hops, local circuits first, heart steady. Full return. Transatlantic to Frankfurt, Jordan surprising at layover, hotel balcony. Rhine glittering. Test flight, he teased. Bodies rediscovering rhythm. Cleared for all maneuvers. Home, expansions beckoned. Jamie's college apps, aviation programs eyed. Purdue, Embry-Riddle. ET3, preschool chatter of planes and papas. Jordan's tenure? Granted, with sabbatical, time for book 3, Boundless Horizons. Co-pen now, my voice threading technical truths. But legacy tugged. Dad's 30th memorial, Tucson airstrip where he vanished young. We flew down en masse, ET buzzing, Jamie piloting co-pilot dreams. Gathering small. Mom's kin, Theo's old crew, winds whipping wild. Jordan unveiled plaque. Elias Rivera, lover, flyer, father. Skies eternal. Toasts to ghosts. ET released balloons, Jamie snapping pics. Night under desert stars, Jordan and I slipped away, old Cessna hangar, memories thick. He'd love this brood, Jordan said, hand on my scar. Proof love lands. Return north smooth, but turbulence brewed domestic. Jamie's first crush, classmate, non-binary artist, sparked school drama. Whispers, notes, admin calls, policy on displays. We rallied PDA meetings, lawyers on speed dial. Jamie's voice amplified. Love's not elective. Victory small. Rainbow flags up, but toll lingered. Jamie's doubts. Am I too much? Nights we circled wagons, movie marathons, Top Gun remixed queer. Jordan's words. You're our updraft, kid. Progress pearled, dates chaperoned, art show invites. Global pulls intensified. My Rome route, Jordan tagging with sabbatical. Eternal City enveloped, Colosseum shadows, gelato strolls, ET chasing pigeons, Jamie sketching forums. Vatican whispers of queer histories hidden. Jordan's notebook filled. One eve, Trevitas. Coins for wishes, family forever. Back stateside, crisis crested. Jordan's mom, estranged, Oregon conservative, reached out post-book buzz. Saw the film. Proud. Icy call, but Jordan thawed tentative. Visit planned. Drive north, kids in back, tension thick. Farmhouse stiff. Mom frail, regrets etched. Theo was family, she admitted, tears. Feared for you. Bridge built shaky, dinners, stories, but healing hummed. Itty charmed with hugs. Jamie's quiet nod sealed. Summer peaked. Cross-country RV trek. Hitting landmarks. Grand Canyon echoes of Dad. DC's monuments for Jamie's Civic's fire. Campfires crackled confessions. Jordan's burnout fears. My altitude anxieties. We're enough, I vowed, stars witnesses. Fall folded in, Jamie's acceptance, Embry-Riddle. Full ride. Tears at send-off. Dorm unpacked, wings waiting. ET4, kindergarten jitters. Will they like gay dads? Assurances, drop-offs tearful. Holidays holistic, Thanksgiving fusion. Mom's tamales, Jordan's pie, Jamie zooming home. Christmas cockpit. Santa flight for charity, kids thrilled. New Year's Eve, Seattle Space Needle. Resolutions whispered. More presents, less push. But dawn of 2028 brought bolt. United merger rumors. Routes slashed, captaincies culled. My slot, teetered. Nights, spreadsheets mocked. Jordan's pep. Pivot, teach, with me. Idea germinated. Aviation lit program, UW extension. Flying meets narrative. Interviews flew. Acceptance landed. Ground shift stung. But opportunity updraft. Classroom, my new cabin. Students hungry for skies untold. First lecture. Coincidences in flight, our story, raw. Applause thundered. Jordan in back row, pride beaming. Jamie's spring break visit. Flight sim tandem, his hands sure. "Oh you," he said. ET school play, little pilot, stealing scenes. Anniversary 4. Paris Redux, kids with sitters. Eiffel glow, sane cruises. Love's latitude expanded. There, Jordan's gift. Manuscript bound, our constellation, memoir mosaic, family focus. Your co-pilot forever. Tears on pages. Skies, once solitary, now shared constellation. Stars of suns, scars as guides. Coincidences, crafted by hearts bold, flying true. Paris's patisseries dusted our last morning with powdered sugar dreams, ET smearing croissants across chubby cheeks while Jamie, home for summer from Embry-Riddle, scrolled flight paths on his phone. His own solo cross-country logged, a right echoing mine at his age. At 31, Jordan's hair threaded silver at temples, a map of our mileage, but his laugh still cut through cafe chatter like a clear VFR day. Our constellation, forged in 6 fateful flights, had bloomed into this. A life not linear, but layered, each detour deepening the draft that kept us aloft. The merger axe fell gentle on United. My pivot to adjunct skies at UW proved propitious. Classes packed, Jordan and I tag-teaming syllabi, evenings alive with student stories mirroring ours. Jamie's evolution enthralled. Freshman year weathered, coming out louder. Rainbow pins on flight bags, dating a fellow rotorhead from Florida. Visits buzzed with updates. Met Theo's old squadron. Gay World War II pilots, hidden heroes. His thesis brewed, queer vectors in aviation history, our archives fuel. ET, 5 now, kindergarten graduate, demanded daddy stories nightly. Embellished tales of Jordan's stalker flights, giggles dissolving to snores. But growth gales gusted. Jordan's second sabbatical beckoned. Research grant for oral histories, Midwest queer elders. Road trip? He proposed, eyes alight. Solo first, caution's ghost. Viper echoes faded, but habits die hard. I nodded, but insisted tandem. Kids farm to grandparents. Us in a vintage camper, tracing Theo and Elias's old haunts. Iowa cornfields first, where Dad barnstormed 94. Locals recalled, that daring duo, hands always linked mid-loop. Jordan taped tales, I piloted narratives. Love looped eternal. Nights in diner booths or field edge pulls, we rekindled stars overhead, hands exploring like first discoveries. Still my coincidence, he'd murmur, lips on neck. One storm shelter eve, thunder rumbling, confessions cascaded. His fear of fading passion, my ache for more airtime. We're mid-flight, I countered. Adjust heading together. Route arced south, Chicago layover nod to our pizza epiphany. Deep dish devoured, then Boys Town bar hop, dancing till dawn, bodies sinking like perfect formation. Elders interviewed there. Survivors of Stonewall-era purges. Aviation dreams dashed by don't ask. Jordan's recorder captured gold. Voices velvet with victory's varnish. You boys remind me, one octogenarian winked. Love's the ultimate tailwind. East to DC. Smithsonian air and space. Relics reverent. Dad's Cessna kin on display. Jamie joined midway, interning at FAA. We toured as quartet, ET pressing noses to glass. Fly that, he piped. Someday, champ. Evening, monuments aglow, Lincoln's shadow, MLK's dream, we vowed vocations. More grants, school talks, lifting next gens. Return west wind whipped, but wholeness hummed. Home, ET's birthday bash. Airfield picnic, remote control planes looping lazy. Cake smeared, wishes whispered. More brothers. Jordan's glance held heat. Talks turned tangible. Adoption agency revisited. Profile polished. Winter wrapped woolen. Holidays hybrid. Tucson to Seattle, Mom's Posada, Jordan's solstice stews. Jamie's winter break. Simulator showdown, his crosswind landings shaming mine. New Year's, family bonfire, resolutions round robin. Etty, fly to moon. Jamie, publish thesis. Jordan, write our sequel. Me, savor the cruise. Spring sprouted shoots. Agency match, a sibling set, boy and girl, ages 3 and 1, foster to adopt pipeline. Home visits heart tugging. The girl, Mia, clutching ET's toy plane. Boy Luca, toddling to Jamie's knee. Paperwork piled, but patience prevailed. Courts cooperative, our home deemed haven. Jamie's thesis defense loomed. Nerves jangling transatlantic calls. We flew down. Fort Lauderdale sun scorching, front row proud. Presentation pierced. Slides of Elias sketches, Viper ledgers, our collision coda. Coincidences crafted by courage, he concluded, voice velvet steel. Diploma draped, hugs hurricane. Knew you'd soar. Summer sealed. Adoptions finalized. Courthouse steps tear-streaked. Mia and Luca ours. Names Hail Rivera-Holy. Nursery doubled. Chaos crescendo. E.T. Big Bro Bossy. Jamie Aunt Uncle Surrogate on breaks. Jordan's Grant birthed Book 4. Echoes unsilenced. Elders Anthology. Bestseller buzz. But we balanced. Beach days over book tours. My classroom evolved. Capstone project. Students scripting personal flights. Queer journeys airborne. One kid, non-binary dreamer, credited us. Your story gave me wings. Tears pricked. Jordan, guest lecturer, sealed. Write bold, skies reward truth. Fall folded golden. Family 5+ Jamie. Routines rhythmic. E.T. school play, the little aviator, Luca cheering incoherent. Mia clapping pause. Post-show ice cream, spills and spills of joy. Anniversary 5. Full circle, Denver Storm Hub, hotel suite. Kids with sitters. We hiked red rocks. Echoes of first turbulence. Hands clasped. Dinner intimate. Steak seared. Stories sizzled. 6 flights to forever. Jordan toasted. Bed beckon blaze. Bodies battle-tested. Tender timeless. Dawn flight home. Us in first reminiscing. Regrets? He asked. None. Every bump built us. Touchdown soft. Seattle welcoming wet. Years layered. Jamie graduated. First officer gig at regional. Our flights synced serendipitous. Cockpit cameos. ET7. Flight camp phenom. Mia 4. Drawing family fleet. Luca 2. Babbling up. Jordan's canon crowned. TED Talk. Love's altitude. Millions moved. Queer love as lift, not load. I keynote beside. Coincidences? Chosen courses. Legacy looped. Foundation launched. Elias Hale wings. Scholarships. Sims for underserved youth. First gala. Our brood beaming. Stories shared. Donations soared. One eve, porch swing creaking, kids abed, Jordan's head on my shoulder. Our book's best chapter? I kissed his temple. The unwritten, endless skies. Sunset bled gold. Horizon hallowed. From 6 chance boardings to this boundless blue, love, kith, kin. We flew not despite storms, but through them, proving. In America's vast vault, hearts find their true vector, landing only to lift again, forever entwined.